Raider is a super tanky, colossal weapon wielding bonk machine in Nightreign, and today we're going to learn how to play him effectively. If you like doing big damage with huge strength weapons while still having amazing survivability, then this is the class for you. Raider has the ability to do huge damage while at the same time you can take defensive passives, and then as well as his skills make you super tanky. So while playing Raider, you can do as much damage as anyone else, but then be almost as tanky as a Guardian. So in this guide, we're going to be talking about his general skills, his stats, what weapons you should be using, what team composition, and then final thoughts at the end. So let's get right into it with his skills. His passive is called Fire's Resolve, which boosts the damage of your first skill as you take more damage, and it also makes it so you can't be knocked down while you're using your first skill. It pretty much gives you infinite poise while you're using it. His first skill is called Retaliate, where you do a shockwave on the ground and then throw a punch, and because of your passive, you can't be knocked out of this. Now while using Retaliate, you will take less damage. Now during the animation, your HP can be reduced by less than 1, so you'll go down to 1 HP, finish the animation, but after you can die. So it's not like Wilder passive, but it's somewhat like it. Now once you take enough damage, you'll start steaming, and that will mean that your Retaliate is charged up. And then when you use your Retaliate, you'll go into a longer animation, and this will do more damage and do more poise damage, and it'll interrupt most boss abilities. Now even the base Retaliate does a lot of poise damage, so you can knock down a lot of enemies even using the base version. Now once it's charged up, there's no time limit, so you can get it charged up, and then if you don't need it for this fight, you can save it for the next fight. Which means you should try to actually take damage just so you can use your stronger Retaliate more often. It interrupts a lot of boss abilities. Now that you have the stronger Retaliate saved up, you can use it for the next fight. It does a huge AoE, does a lot of damage, knocks down regular enemies no problem. And the Crystallians get knocked down with one charged hit of Retaliate, and then you can just swing again and it makes the fight super fast, where other classes have to spend a lot of time to kill those enemies. Now Raider's ultimate ability is called Totem Stella. You're going to drive a spike into the ground, and you're going to summon a huge pillar, and you're going to be invulnerable for 5 seconds while you're doing it and do a lot of AoE damage around yourself. And also all your teammates are going to get a 15% physical attack boost, which a lot of people don't know about. You can also use this ability to get up high and hit enemies that would be normally out of range for you. So the fact that you're super tanky, using huge weapons and all of these skills in combination means you want to be a frontliner at all times. You always want to be in the face of the enemy so that you can take damage, so you can beef up your Retaliate so that when you hit them with them, it knocks them out for longer, does more poise damage. Like I mentioned before, the stronger Retaliate also knocks a lot of bosses out of their abilities, so that will make the fight way easier for your whole team. You always want to time Retaliate for right before you're going to get hit so that you can hit them back, do poise damage, and still take reduced damage overall. And because Raider always uses colossal weapons, you will do a huge amount of poise damage, which will mean that the boss will get knocked down faster and you can get that sweet critical hit for your team. So in Nightreign, whenever you do a critical hit, the enemy goes down and you do the riposte, but your team still gets to hit them for full damage, which means that you're not taking any damage and your teammates can still do full DPS. Now people also make a mistake of only using the totem whenever they need it, but remember, you're getting bonus damage 15% every time you use it. So if you have a lot of physical damage in your team, using it can make a fight really easy. You can also use the totem under your allies when they're knocked down, and then that will bring them up with you, and then you can stand on top of the totem and heal them up. Now my favorite thing to do with Raider is to power stance 2 colossal weapons. This does a huge amount of damage as well as takes a lot of poise off the boss, and doing jump attacks does a lot of damage. So remember to use your jump attacks. And just using 2 colossal weapons makes it really fun. It seems like a Elden Ring Unga Bunga run all the time. I'm also going to recommend use a Bloodborne relic. We'll talk more about this in the relic section later on. The combination of your high HP, your high poise, as well as high damage with colossal weapons means you're the perfect brawler. Most fights, you're going to go in, the boss is going to hit you, and then you can hit back with your colossal weapons and get almost all the HP back. This means that you can get right into the thick of things and you don't have to worry about losing your HP over time. As long as the boss hits you once and you hit him back, you almost get the same HP back. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, you can use your Retaliate, and then especially if it's buffed up, it'll knock the boss back. Even if it's not buffed up, you'll take less damage and then you'll be able to absorb the hit. And then whatever they hit you with, you can then use your weapon to get it back because of the Bloodborne effect. The secret to every melee character in Elden Ring is just to get a little bit more tankier. Now with the Raider, this is way more apparent. Like everything we've talked about before, if that doesn't work and you make a mistake and you take a lot of hits, it's still okay. You have a lot of Estus saved up for those times. You can use a single Estus, get all your HP back, and then you can get riled back into brawling with the enemy. Then you can use your Retaliate, your ultimate, your passives. Everything is going to help you to stay alive for super long and tank everything for your team. And you being brawly and tanky is way better for your team because then they can sit there and do their full damage. They don't have to worry about running around, chasing the enemy down. No, you're just going to stand there and take the hits so that your teammates can do way more damage. And don't think just because you're tanky, you're not going to do any damage. Even if you go a full defense build, you're still going to have really, really good scaling with colossal weapons that do innately a lot of damage. Remember, if you're dead, you're not doing any damage at all. So it's way better to be tankier and do damage every second as opposed to dumping a lot of damage early on and then you die and then your teammate can't revive you. Now, if we're talking about the build, you're going to want to take as much damage negation as you can. Even your talismans, you're going to want to take damage negation. Anything that's going to give you resistances or damage negation or more HP is going to be the best. Now we're going to talk about the relics. Anything that's going to give you more stance break is amazing. His first Remembrance relic is really good. It boosts your retaliate as well as gives you more strength. And then probably my favorite relic for Raider is anything that gives you the Bloodborne effect, partial HP restoration and post damage attacks. Now when it comes to weapons for Raider, you can use any colossal weapons. So great axe, great hammers, great swords, they're all really, really good. I really like dual wielding two of them and using the power stance because I just like the two colossal weapon moveset. Now sometimes you'll be unlucky, you won't find two of the same weapon. Then what you do is just get whatever the best thing you have and just use it in two hands. Now I prefer power stancing, but you can still dual wield one weapon and you're still going to do fine on every boss. Also, if you can find a weapon that the boss is weak to elemental wise, so a poison or electricity or holy, that's going to make the fight so much easier for you. Every boss, when you apply the weakness to them, has certain effects they do that's going to make the fight easier, and you applying it alongside your team is going to make the fight go away faster. Now for the final boss, you always want to stay close to him and you always want to take the hits for your team. The point of Raider is that you have almost as much HP as the Guardian while you're still doing a lot of damage. Not as much as the carries, but you can do pretty good damage. You're not going to be super mobile and every hit you do is going to take a lot of stamina, so if the boss is far away from you, sometimes you can just wait for them to come back. It's going to be easier than running all the way over there and then you get there and there's no stamina and you just stand around doing nothing. Now when it comes to team composition, you really want to go more with melee characters than ranged characters. The reason is your ultimate totem stella. If you have a team that's full of melee characters, using your ultimate on cooldown is going to make a huge difference in the whole fight. Giving your whole team a 15% extra physical damage bonus when everyone is pretty much going to be doing physical damage is huge. Also, melee characters don't really mind totem stella as much as ranged characters. Now if you have a ranged character team, then I recommend you pull back on your use of totem stella and don't use it as often. The reason for that is they're probably not going to benefit from physical damage as much. You're only going to be buffing yourself, and you doing 15% more damage is not going to be worth it. The reason is the ultimate creates a barrier in the middle of the field and a lot of the time it's going to block your ranged characters. For example, if you have a Recluse or an Aranai on the other side of the pillar and the boss is on this side of the pillar, they won't be able to do any damage to the boss at all. And sometimes they'll actually not be able to see through the pillar and go close to the pillar and the boss can clip through the pillar and hit them, which is really, really annoying if you're a ranged character. So my recommendation to you is, if you have melee characters on your team, use Totem Stella on cooldown whenever you can. But if you don't have melee characters, then don't use it as often. Now when it comes to the Raider's stats, he has an A in HP and an A in stamina and an S in strength. Having a combination of the second highest HP in the game, having a lot of stamina, and doing huge damage with a colossal weapon with that scaling means that Raider is a really, really solid pick. He has the ability to tank and do damage at the same time. Now for team composition, you mostly want all the melee characters on your side, and if you have a Guardian on your team, you can even take offensive passives to do even more damage. If you have any ranged characters on your team, including the Duchess, be very careful with the placement of your ultimate because it can really mess them up and then you'll actually be doing less DPS overall as a whole team. And remember, while you don't have that much FP, you can still use some skills, so don't forget to use them whenever you can. Now for the final thoughts on the Raider. Now while he's not as beginner friendly as Wilder, he's still a solid pick all around. If you like having high HP, doing lots of damage, having a lot of stamina, pretty much the strength build of Elden Ring, then this is the guy for you. Depending on your team, you can go super tanky and then you're going to be as tanky pretty much as a Guardian almost, while still doing good damage. While on the other side, if you have like a Guardian on your team or you have the ability to go like full damage on Raider, he does so much damage and so much poise damage that you're gonna love him. Dual wielding colossal weapon with a full DPS build does so much damage, especially his jump attacks. So what do you guys think about Raider? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe for more. I'm going to be making more of these guides.